Hello, I'm Roy, a moderator of this debate. The topic of this debate is which place is better to live in, sea or space? Before we start, both teams will stand up and greet each other. Members who participate in debate should follow the discussion and procedures. If you prepare PowerPoint, please prepare it. Then let's start debate. First, let's take a look some reasons for protein. Please come out the first speaker of protein. The time is 3 minutes.
First of our argument of living in the sea, I do not think that living in space is not a good choice. The space garbage can get a damage to our people. They are not something that can be ignored because they are small. The 1 centimeter size piece of aluminum floating in space has the same destructive power as a 1.5 ton medium sized car, destructive power as a medium sized car carrying 50 kilometers per hour. It is equivalent to the size of a grenade explosion. When the external impact is added, the debris has a faster speed than this. The seriousness of space waste is that it poses a continuous threat not only to the safety as astronauts but also to satellites that will play a more important role in the present as well as in the future, such as Earth observation, communication, and GPS. People will not feel the effects of space waste in their daily lives, but many services such as communication, weather forecasting, and GPS depend on space. Said Tim Flower, a space waste expert at ESA. Thank
you. Please come out the first speaker of option 3. The time is also 3 minutes.
The first speaker said, I think space is more adventurous than under the sea. First, in under the sea, there are lots of disadvantages. For example, in under the sea, there have a narrow view than space, and there exists some predator under the sea. They can raise various accidents from predator, and other example, there are restriction on movement. You can think space also has restriction on movement. But in under the sea, the air pressure difference is greater than space. This means it can be more hard to move in under the sea than space. Second, we will tell you about advantages when we live in space. There is a tremendous potential about resource. Under the sea, of course, there are some ore, iron kind of that. But in space, we can find more involved mineral than iron. And we can use more solar energy. It will bring good influence in human civilization. And in human civilization, people always fight the war because of area. If people make one way into space, I think people will stop the fight about war. Because space is still expanding because of Big Bang. And nowadays, people have lots of worried about environmental pollution. But we will start new place. We will not repeat that environmental pollution because people know why environmental pollution are occurring. In a serious way, the military use of space is already reaching an unstoppable level. And in the 20th century, negotiation for peaceful use of space, such as space treaties, have been active but are becoming increasingly unstoppable as technology advances. It is not far away that we will see space forces in addition to the Army, Navy, and Air Forces in the near future. However, although the structure of the US has been recognized, it has operated a space force with a sole command in the past, and China and Russia are also operating space surveillance defense forces.
Please come out the second speaker of protein.
Getting and finding food at sea can be easier than in space. First of all, in the shallow sea, there are already several seafood that come up on our table every time, and seawater is used as drinking water through milk purification processes. And there are algae that can be seen as future food in the deep sea. That's planktonfish. Planktonfish found in the Twilight Zone of the deep sea in World War II are expected to be used in functional foods such as omega-3 supplements and fish meal pills. can also be used as agriculture feed because it consists of oil and bones. The population is also sufficient. As a result of an acoustic survey by Malaspina expedition in 2014 showed that it reached 10 to 20 gigatons. The NASA judged space agriculture as an important part, but there was a problem that the cultivation environment was different from that of the Earth, and the area to be cultivated was limited. As a result, we can see that deep sea food cultivation is simpler and more useful than space.
Opposing team, please come out.
I will start the lecture. You guys are talking about space has a lot of disadvantages about space, but I wanted to focus on moments. Some experts say that humans are talking animals that have intelligence, but if humans get restrictions on moments, that can be affected in development of mankind. If human can't move, human will lose the power to make your ideas come true. And under the sea, water is one of the have a lot of resistance objects in the world, and you can think space can affect to humans' movement. But under the sea, there also have barometric pressure. You can think under the sea there are enormous amount of stars, but there are limits for human that is caused by barometric pressure. A major drawback is narrow view, and we can be threatened about that. Why is that? Is be at a disadvantage against to predator, and if we fight back to predator, we should use weapon. But when we use weapon in the water, it under the influence of resistance, so we can't fight back with predator. Thank you.
Let's listen to report of protein. Protein, please come out.
In his opinion, I think deep sea is more than sea development. Based on my research, I looked into the universe for shortcomings. First, the ticket is about 550 million per person. The travel time is short while the price is high. It only takes 1 hour and a half from pickup to landing. Second, it's difficult to travel because only 1,000 seats in seat. Third, the train before we go into space, no matter how short a trip is. It's the first time experiencing zero gravity, so a curriculum is needed. Fourth, there are more necessary conditions before we go on a trip. You have to be able to withstand up to 9 minutes is the spacecraft, so you don't have to have claustrophobia. It's passive inclusive, and you have to endure up to 3 times the gravity when you launch. So have to go a good peaceful straight. I'm checking my speed on to see if I can unfasten my seatbelt in 50 seconds. Therefore, I think deep sea development should be better than space development. Thank you.
Then let's listen to report of opposing team. Opposing team, please come out.
I will start with the car. First, our team just said about disadvantage for when we live under the sea. Now our rebuttal will be advantage of when we live in space. As I said before, there are the infinite possibilities of resource. That resource might surpass oil, iron, aluminum, kind of them. And there already exists validated resource. It's a solution energy. Some people can think that sea also have theta energy. But if we go to space, you get as close as you can to the sun. But just because you live under the sea doesn't mean you can create more theta energy. As long as the Earth's resources are limited, the number of industrial revolutions that can be realized on Earth is limited. This is a work that prevents the progress of human society. As the universe continues to expand by the Big Bang, it can carve out a lot of resources of that land and planet. People think that the ocean is safer than the universe, and they fully understand it. But the ocean is denying more risk than the universe. For example, Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, is more focused on exploring and pioneering the universe than on ocean research. Major developed countries and major powers around the world already have some space colonial plans in place and continue researching the development in the space industry. And in the very distant future, the Earth eventually becomes Venus due to the evolution of solar activity, making it impossible for humans to live. So humans have no choice but to leave the Earth somehow. Thank you.
Opposite team, hopefully you're playing this will the final presentation.
Konstantin Tysonski said the earth is a cradle of mankind, but no one can live in it forever. And Joseph Ash said, I am sure one day we will be at war in space. We are going to fight in space to get into space. And that's why the United States is studying beam weapons and corridor technology. We will soon attack ships, airplanes, and ground force on the ground from space. Also, the richest man on Earth, Elon Musk, he is creating SpaceX, so private airline company, and pouring huge capital in the space-related industries. Knowing of the field of vision, predators increase due to large movement countries. This presents too many bad conditions for humans to survive in space. On the other hand, occurring the industrial revolution with green energy and first-time rescuers with limited potential and infinity amounts of land, this will be the first steps to identify and acquire the whole world following the progress of human civilization. Some people fear and avoid change. That doesn't change anything. If there is, it will be a civilization of people who are getting weaker and weaker. Living in the sea may be the same earth and a more familiar environment, but the intentions of mankind or the oceans in speculate has proved to have countless possibilities that cannot be compared with them.
This will be a final presentation.
Value of capital compared to investment. Space development can be seen as a waste of the huge capital development and Earth's resource into space. Space development means that the country is a big power, but it's actually a big power that is helpful to people benefit only a small number of people. On the other hand, the cost of developing deep sea oil fields has decreased by nearly 70% in the past 5 years. The cost of developing deep sea oil fields has now fallen from 15.3 per barrel in 2040 to $5 per barrel. In conclusion, deep sea development requires a lower price than the space cost, but it can be estimated that the efficiency at the time of development is higher. 비용은 근 5년간 70% 이상 감소 중이지만 우주 개발 비용은 계속 증가하는 추세이고요. 나사에서 우주 농업이 중요한 부분으로 발전할 수 있을 거라고 판단하긴 했으나 우주의 생산 및 지배는 쉽지 않을 것으로 보입니다. 우주에 살면 우리는 우주 쓰레기들을 많이 직면하게 될 텐데요. 그것이 아주 작은 쓰레기일지라도 그것으로 인한 피해는 막대하기 때문에 저희는 우주에 사는 것보다 심해를 개발하여 사는 것이 비용 및 음식, 환경, 신체 면에서 모두 더 뛰어나다고 판단했습니다. 감사합니다.
저희는 우주가 바다에서 사는 것보다 낫다고 생각했습니다. 그 이유는 우리 지구는 많이 개발되어 있고 자원도 한정되어 있는 상태지만 우주는 아직 무한히 팽창하는 중이고 아직 미개발 지역도 많기 때문에 바다보다 우주에서 생존하는 것이 더 도움이 될 거라고 생각했고 현재도 우주에 관련된 산업들이 많이 팽창하고 있기 때문에 바다보다 우주에 사는 것이 더 나을 것 같습니다. 감사합니다.
Regardless of the outcome, both teams did a great job. Timers and judges too. Thank you for your effort. Then we will finish this debate.